Wow, third video in a day. That's kind of crazy, and they're all different. This is another, you know what? You don't need to see anything in this video. I'll probably put some, like, if I can find pictures, I'll probably put pictures over this, or maybe, like, draw something for you guys. I really don't know. But this video is going to be explaining what's been going on. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but this is going to be on a specific subject. You've already probably read my journal on DeviantArt, the one titled Fucking Pissed. So I'm going to give you some background on what happened, because typing that whole text wall took a long time, and I didn't elaborate on very many things. So, okay, I'm gonna go upstairs, and I shall converse. Okay, so basically what happened was, I went to summer school, and you guys probably know that. I'm not sure, hopefully, or else you guys are not caught up on anything, which would kind of suck. So basically, I went to summer school for 3 weeks. At first, I was anxious, to put it bluntly, I guess. I was anxious. I was really anxious. I didn't think I'd make friends, because it's summer school. It's summer school. It's for people that just didn't do well in regular school, and so I was like, oh, I'm gonna be with the misfits, and it's gonna suck, and people are gonna be mean, and it's just gonna be horrible. And then I got there, and right when I walked in the room, this is also really funny, because I'm actually rereading what I had in my blog. On my blog, I posted the first 5 days of my summer school experience, so I'm basically recapping that. So I got into the classroom, and I looked around, and I see a bunch of random kids, and they all were of different races, descents. They were all just misfits of children. And then I look over in the corner, to the right-hand side of me, and I swivel over, and I see, oh, this chick, Bailey! Holy crap! I absolutely hate her, but she's the only person I know, so I'm gonna go sit by her, because I really didn't want to be awkward and sit by random people. So I go grab a stool. She was at an actual desk, because it was like this giant table, and there were little cubbies where you would put your chair in and you'd sit. It's kind of hard to explain, but it was weird. And there was like a sink in the middle of it. And don't ask, I may draw it out for you guys. I think that'd be easier. But I sat in the corner. I just grabbed a random stool. I didn't have a desk. I was just sitting there next to Bailey, because she was the only person I knew. And then I talked to her for a few minutes, and, I got a little bit more comfortable in the environment, and then she moved to the opposite side of the table and sat down there. For some reason, I don't know why, and so I was just sitting there all awkward and like, oh shit, this is really awkward. I mean, she was still talking to me, but I think that was like her seat or something over there. Oh, beats me, I really have no idea. But anyways, I was just sitting there, and class was about to start, and then I see this girl, and she walks up, and she seems a bit hesitant to sit down. She was just kind of like, oh, shit, do I want to sit by this chick? I don't even know her. She's never been here before. And she gave me this kind of weird look, and she looked around, and she's like, So she sat down, finally, right in the seat that Bailey was sitting in, and I was like, oh, shit, I'm really close to this chick. I don't even know who she is. And so, once class started, I was, like, kind of awkward, because I was still sitting in a place that didn't have a desk, so I, like, played it off like nothing, and I got up, and, like, all cool, walked over to the chair next to the new chick that I'd never seen before, and I sat there. So class started pretty normally. I looked over, and I saw the chick drawing something, and I was like, oh, whoa, I found an artist, that's crazy. And so I look over, her art was great, it's stunning, it's amazing. I was like, holy shit, this girl's amazing. Her art is so good, and it was like anime and everything, it was awesome. And so I always get competitive when I find new people at a drawing, so I started to draw something, and so she was looking over at my art, and I was looking over at hers, and then we finally, like, actually got up the nerve to talk, and I was like, hey, what are you drawing? And she showed me, then I showed her mine, and, we kind of instantly became friends. Like, things clicked really quickly, because we liked the same stuff, and we had the same views on things, and so we ended up passing notes, like, every day, back and forth. And she became my one friend at summer school, except for, okay, now moving on to another section. Okay, so after a few days, I became friends with her, and then I started to notice something weird. I mean, like, from day one, I asked her what her sexuality was, and she said she was straight, so I was like, oh, this is strange, because she gave me, for some reason I could just tell when people like me. It's weird, like when people are like interested, or I don't know, I really don't know what I'm trying to say there, but point being, I was like, she doesn't seem like she's straight, and so I just played it off as nothing, so I was just like, whatever. And then after a few days, she started to get kind of weird. I met this kid, Eric. I met this kid, Eric, and he flirted with me like every 10 seconds. It was ridiculous. And he was really sweet. He was nice. He was a jock. He was a stoner. He got kind of annoying, but he was a good kid. He was sweet. He was nice. So I was talking to him, and then the chick got really jealous. And I was like, why are you jealous? This isn't any of your business. And I kind of got weirded out a little bit, and then she's like, well, I just don't like him flirting with you. I think it's weird. And then she like confessed that she liked me, and I was like, okay, things are starting to make sense now. It's all coming together. And so I'm like, just, you don't need to be a part of this. You kind of need to lay off. I mean, it's none of your business if I like him, and if he likes me, it's really none of your business. You're my friend. And so she started, like, talking about random shit, and she was like, whenever I tell people I like them, they always blow me off. I'm like, well, it's not like I'm gonna blow you off and never talk to you again. It's more like I'm going to kindly reject you after a few days, and then still be your friend. But she, like, after a while, like, she actually came over to my house once, and it was, like, we hung out and stuff, but she kept, like, hugging me, and it was really irritating. And then it was just like, I'd already given her, like, at first I was like, well, I guess I could like you, there's potential. And then after that day, like, the next day I was like, okay, I already like someone else, sorry, but it's probably gonna be a no. And then after that, I'm just like, what, no, it's a no, just understand that. And she would not get the memo. She wouldn't keep forcing her feelings down my throat, and it was, like, really annoying. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to deal with it until she finally understands and backs off. And so the day that she came over, it was like, we had fun, but it was annoying, and she got really clingy, and it sucked. And so I invited another friend over, too, to, like, balance out the situation, and then that helped a little bit, but it didn't help a lot. It was still kind of bad. So I was like, okay, you know what, let's just deal with this. And then my friend left, and she ended up sleeping over, so I'm like, oh, God, it's going to be annoying. And so I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to take a shower, and I'll be back in a bit, because I just needed to, like, calm down and just be like, you know what? Leave me alone. I need some time to myself. Because that night, I was like, I didn't really want her to sleep over. That was actually the second time she came over, I think. But I was like, oh, man, I really just wanted to lay in bed and read. I hate sleeping on the couch. The couch is uncomfortable. And so I was just like, okay, I'm going to take a shower, and I'm going to deal with this, and you know what, whatever. And, like, before then, we were writing notes to each other, even though we were right next to each other, and she was, like, giving me all these really creepy, flirty things, and it was just awkward, and I was like, you know what, just, And then I just sucked it up, and I was like, hey, you know what, just do whatever you want, get it over with. Just go for it. I really don't give a fuck. And then I took a shower, and she's like, hey, can I come in the shower with you? I'm like, no thanks. I think I'm fine with that. Just stay out of the room, thanks. And then when I got out of the shower, it was, like, really awkward tension, and she, like, just looked at me really funny, and I'm like, oh, God, I know something's gonna happen, because I can always tell when weird shit's gonna happen. So I sucked it up and just kind of went into that kind of mode where you just shut down everything. I'm not sure if people can do this, but it's like, I made it so I didn't care. It was kind of like I just was stone cold, and I just was like, you know what, whatever. And so she, like, was awkward and, like, confessing to me, and it was just like, okay, get it over with. And so she, like, kissed me a few times, and it wasn't like it was bad. I mean, all first kisses are terrible, but it's just like, oh, how she, God damn it, I hate reliving the moment. It was just so awkward. I mean, like, first off, it was like, people need to learn how to properly kiss someone. You don't kiss at, like, a straight angle. Even in animes, they don't do that. You kiss at the side. You both tilt one way. And then it's easier to kiss that way. And another thing is, when you kiss someone the first time, you never really do anything more than kiss. You don't, like, make out and she, like, made out with me, and she thought I was, like, going to stick my tongue in her mouth. It was just awkward. I'm like, dude, I wouldn't do anything like that, especially with you. You are not attractive, and that is just awkward. And so, moment ended, took, like, 2 seconds, you know, whatever, I don't give a fuck. And then, when we went to sleep, she was, like, cuddling with me, and I'm just like, you know, I'm done with this shit. And so, I just got irritated. And so, basically, I blew her off, hopefully forever. And so, after that, I had told her, like, personal things, and here's where the actual story is gonna come in. There's gonna be part 2 of this video. So, basically, after all that shit happened, I told her about, like, my sex life, and that I've actually, like, had sex. I mean, you probably read the journal already. I'm not gonna reiterate all this shit, because it's awkward, especially in camera, but point being, I told her stuff because I thought I could trust her, and, you know, it was okay, and I was like, you know what, let's get her off my ass by telling her all the other people that I like, and people that I am going to date, and let's just stop her from liking me, please, just anything. And so, after a few weeks, you know, it was fine. We talked every once in a while, but something just seemed awkward. And so after summer school ended, you know, we said our goodbyes for a while, and I was like, okay, finally, this is over. I'm probably not going to see her very much, maybe every once in a while. And so, yeah, and then my mom got on the phone, and I didn't know what was going on, and then she came back, and I had been keeping this a secret from my parents for, like, 2 years, 3 years, that I'd actually had sex. And my mom came and sat on the couch with me, and you can tell where this is going. So, the chick had told her mom, and her mom told my mom, and it was just bad. Oh, it was so awkward, and my mom was pissed the fuck off. It was so bad. It was so bad. Oh my god. And I just sucked it up and dealt with it. And then I was like, okay, you know what? This is ridiculous. And so I started talking with my friends after it happened. I got, like, all of my shit taken away, got all my privileges taken away. You know, you should probably read the journal, it'll make more sense. But basically, like, life turned into hell, and it just sucked. And my mom was like, oh, I'm so glad that she told me. She's such a good little girl. I'm like, I just wanted to snap her neck. Seriously, not my mom, but the chick. I just wanted to seriously go over there and murder her in her sleep. But I was pissed, and she's like, you know, she was genuinely concerned about you. I'm like, seriously, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I can take care of myself. It's not like she needs to get involved in stuff like that. I told her for a reason, and she goes and blabs it out to the whole world. And the funny thing is, she told everything to her mom. Everything that I had said. It's like she turned into a fucking parrot, and she just reiterated everything I told her. It was ridiculous. I was like, okay, at least leave something to the imagination. Don't explain in grave detail. It was just miserable. So, basically, right after it happened, I was just in a state of disbelief and shock. For like a straight 2 days, I cried. My parents didn't talk to me. They were just in shock, horror, disbelief. It was bad. It was really bad. I didn't eat for like 2 days. I know you guys are going to kill me for that, but I didn't want to go downstairs. I stayed in my room all day and night and just cried. So, you know, enough of the pity fest. I really don't give a fuck about that part. It's over. So, anyways, point being, she just turned into a bitch. And after the journal I posted, I was like, you know what? People are probably going to tell me to suck it up. I mean, that's kind of what I need, is for people to just say, suck it up, deal with it. It's going to get better. It's going to go better. It's going to be fine. But it turns out everyone sympathized with me. It was great. People were so sweet. It was like I got over 100 comments. Some from people I didn't even know. They were all so nice to me, and they were all just so supportive. And at the beginning of the journal, I said, you know, you can unwatch me if you don't like what I've done, but no one unwatched me. Actually, more people watched me because of it. They're like, you know what, stay strong. And all my friends really wanted to beat the shit out of her. And here's another thing. So, actually, you know what? This is going to take a while to explain the rest of this. We only have like 40 seconds left on this. So I'm going to kick it into high gear. I'm going to put in part 2. So, go watch part 2. I will continue the story there. So, peace off, home dogs.